Good Sunday afternoon, everybody. My name is Aviance, and I am one of the founders of the Holy Breath Conglomerate. So we're coming to you live from my kitchen table, and I'm here. Well, I'm not physically here, but he definitely is on the phone with the man himself, Ki, who's going to introduce himself and tell you all about his journey in some of the most dangerous prisons in the state of Illinois, and also his journey back to the county jail.
How everybody doing? Like y'all know, my name K.I. And I was sentenced to 77 years, but during my incarceration, me and my fiance, Aviance, we founded the Holy Breath Conglomerate and also the WIDE Initiative to end mass incarceration. Well, we can't really end mass incarceration, but just knock a little piece out of it and show people that there's other people in this world willing to fight. Well, I was sentenced to 77 years and found not guilty of 5 attempted murders, aggravated battery with a firearm, and I was found guilty of an armed robbery, saying that during the commission of the offense, I personally discharged the firearm and caused great bodily harm to the person that they found me not guilty of attempted to kill it, and they gave me 77 years at 85%. So, I was in Menard, Illinois, the max penitentiary, the worst penitentiary besides Pontiac in the state of Illinois, especially it was a supermax once they shut Thames down through the National Geographic article, and we was in Menard or whatever. I put the work in and I did the prayer and be an Aviance with the help of a lot of more people here and there, my mother and other people, and we gave the time back with prayer and hard work. So I ended up coming back to the county jail a month ago and gave back 77 years. So now I'm waiting for resentencing to get resentenced and come back into society and do work.
So I hear you saying do work. What kind of work are you planning on doing when you re-enter society?
First and foremost, help other guys that I see that was also incarcerated wrongfully get to the point where they can be back in front of the circuit court, which means Cook County Court and any other county that's around the state of Illinois, get back so they can plead their case and prove their innocence, which everybody's been seeing this on TV since 2018. We've been proving, and it's been proven that a lot of guys was sent to the penitentiary road and they was wrongfully convicted, but it's like don't nobody care. So, you got people saying Black Lives Matter and things of this nature, but I feel like we got to fill out an application to be a part of Black Lives, and I could have sworn we was black ourselves. So I'm going to stand up and stick my chest out. I'm not going point no fingers. I ain't going to do none of that. I'm going to stand up myself and put in the work myself, and I'm also go share light on how these little boys out there doing everything that they doing, that they do not want to be in the prisons that I was in the mind state that I was in with all this time. They do not want to be where I was at. So that's the work I'm going to put in, to share light on the injustices being inflicted upon us black men physically and us black men mentally, not even knowing in the directions that we headed. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So I heard you mention that they don't want to be there. Can you give us just kind of a brief story of maybe a situation that happened in one of those prisons that Go ahead.
Basically, okay, here goes a story. Real true story. I was in segregation doing a year of segregation. If you people don't know, well, let me let y'all know. When you got over 30 or 40 years in prison, they don't allow you to educate yourself. So I wasn't educated, and it was at the time of my life I didn't know if I was going to live and die in prison. So, of course, I was indulging in things that I shouldn't indulge into. I'm talking about gangs, you know what I'm saying? I was fighting, carrying knives, you know what I'm saying, and all type of stuff. So I ended up being in segregation because the guy that I went to High Park with, which he was part and parcel to the same thing that I allegedly was part and parcel to on paper, Black Peach Stone. And you know what I'm saying? A guy sucked his toes in a cell and sat on his chest and broke the bones in his face. So I told the guy when I called him I was going to break his jaw. So 4 years later, I called the guy, I broke his jaw. We all went to SIG, me, my cousin, and a couple more guys that's allegedly affiliated with what I was supposed to be affiliated with. So I did a year in SIG. So while I was in SIG or whatever, everywhere I went, because I was pink tagged, because I was under a leadership position, everywhere I went, I couldn't have no celly or nothing, so I was pink tagged. So it was 3 officers or 2 officers escort me somewhere. I had a crack in my tooth. So I was going there to get penicillin or whatever before they could pull my tooth. And while I was walking, I was shackled, and I seen a guy coming towards me with his jaws poked out. So I'm knowing that this guy about to spit on me or do something like that. So I'm bracing myself, being the police, because the segregation down there, we don't be together. We just be in bullpen separate or whatever, because I ain't never go see this guy again. So I'm bracing myself. So when the guy get past me, he said, no. Another guy like, no, that's one of them stones that's got them on the pink tag. Don't do nothing to the nigga. So when I passed by him, do you know this dude spit diarrhea out of his mouth that he put in there? Because when we go out to cell, we get shut down. You can't have nothing on it. The man spit diarrhea out of his mouth. So that's just to show you the mind state that these dudes be in the mind state that we be in, coming from the community that we come from and down to these places with 50 and 60 years not knowing whether we going home or not. So some people can't take that time. So people get to popping medication, cutting on themselves and all that. And as you can see, this guy went from being a human being to being an animal, being caged up in these segregations and these penitentiaries with no help. And the man spit diarrhea out of his mouth. Inhumane at the highest rate. And I'm telling guys, they do not want to be in these places that I was in, because it's all fun and games when you tough and you run around shooting a gun, because you don't know what comes behind this. Every action is something that comes behind it. It's a cause and effect. If you throw something in the air, automatically it's gonna come back down and hit the ground, and this is how you hit the ground. And people don't want to be in these penitentiaries like that. I'm telling you, it's a fact. It's not an opinion of mine, like you like Harold's and I like Popeyes. No, it's a fact. This is fried chicken I'm talking about. You do not want to be in these prisons with over 30 or 40 years at 100% and 85% mental. A fact.
All right, so I heard you also mention something about like the inhumanity, and then I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe I emphatically heard the word psychiatric, but I wanted to share a story with you, and I know you probably already know about it. So it says in Atlanta, the family of a man who died in a bed bug infested cell in a Georgia jail psychiatric wing is calling for the U.S. Justice Department to investigate the facility. LaShawn Thompson, 35, died in September, 3 months after being booked into the Fulton County Jail in Atlanta. Prominent civil rights attorney Ben Crump, who represents Thompson's family, called for those responsible for his death to be held accountable. What you're looking at, I think, is not just a deplorable jail cell, but this is a crime scene. This is criminal, Crump said, as he held up a photo of Thompson's dirty, trash-strewn cell during a news conference in Raleigh Thursday in front of the jail. Photos of the cell and of Thompson's face and body covered in insects sparked outrage last week when they spread on social media after his family's local attorney, Michael Harper, released them to news outlets. The medical examiner's report lists Thompson's cause of death as undetermined, but notes a severe bed bug infestation. And I read that from NBC 15 WMTV. Can you speak to that? Because I did hear you say, like, just kind of the inhumanity of it all.
And that's just not to cut you off. I apologize for that, because I still cut you off, but that's just to show you, and that's a county jail. So, you know what I'm saying? We ain't about to be saying that it's worse here in Illinois or it's worse there or whatever, because we all Asiatic people, when we being detained and inhumane things are unfolding for us, because these people don't give a F about us. like Farrakhan said, the Constitution was made by them and for them. And this is what's go on. Once they get us in and they lock us in this money pit, they don't care what happened to us. And yeah, like they said, that guy went in that cell. That guy went in that cell, and they know what was going on in that cell because they watch these things because they count every couple 30 minutes and things of their nature. They seen that guy in that cell getting AIDS alive. It is a crime scene because once we locked up, we state property. They have authority over us, so they supposed to make sure that we kept in good strength and good health because you know what I'm saying. We detained in they custody, but to go a little further, I've been watching it on the news and things of that nature. But now you got Benjamin Crump involved. You got Colin Kaepernick saying things about this. But people get lynched in inhumane situations all around this country, and don't nobody say nothing. Until the light shine on it. Now the light shine on it. Everybody want to say, "Oh, the man got ate with bed bugs, man." The God forbid, man. And Norton, I send my condolences to Homie family because he ain't deserved that. But there been people in Cook County. And there been people all downstate in Menard and Pontiac living in inhumane situations. Hey, look. I was a segregationist shit one time or whatever, excuse my language. And then I went into a cell, and it was species everywhere. It was like, I don't want to be exaggerating. I'd say about 25 to 30 trays filled up constantly with vomit, diarrhea, all types. They didn't give me nothing to clean it up. I went in my box. I went in my bag because I was a SIG and wiped all this stuff up. They do this stuff all the time, but don't nobody want to speak about it. And we can't say it ain't being heard because people call their people on these phones every day and tell their people what they've been going through. So it ain't even really the police. It's our family fault because we don't stand up and fight for our people when they in this situation. But everybody be hollering Black Lives Matter. Now everybody, I guarantee you, people that's tagging that stuff, I don't know how Facebook and all that go because I've been gone a long time, and they tagging that stuff. They got people in their family that's going through the same thing, and they don't even care, but they jumping on this bandwagon because all these celebrities retweet it. And once again, condolences to that man's family, man, because nobody should be treated like that because I could have swore when you in the county jail and you fight the case, it's innocent, it's a proven guilty, but once you be black and you go in there, you guilty, it's a proven innocent, and they treat you like you've been sentenced already. They don't treat you like no detainee, they treat you like a prisoner doing Sam Crow.
So what are your suggestions for families getting involved? Because I know that the topic of our podcast is entitled "Check on Y'all People," and you said that families often get these phone calls from their loved ones who are incarcerated, letting them know of the condition. So what sort of actions can they take? So that things like this, are being brought to the light before they brought to the light, if that makes sense.
Check on y'all people. Listen to y'all people, man. The people down there in the penitentiary and other different places got tablets and all these things, and they get on the phone with them, and they tell them people that the thing is, ain't no step to be taken. Support your people. Love your people. Because your people telling you, oh, it's freezing. Oh, your people telling you, oh, it's so nasty in here. But you ain't listening to them. You ain't listening to them. It's all about self-love, man. How could you love yourself but don't love your people and they came from you? The whole step is, man, love your people, man, and check on your people because your people in these prisons, and then we can move forward to the next step. Because we can't jump all the way from not having a foundation and then go to the second floor apartment. We got to start at a foundation first before we even start building on the first or the second floor to even get to a roof, to shingle it, and felt paper, and then have a shelter to build upon. We got to love ourselves and love our people first. Man, there be so many people in these prisons with no lawyers. People being here. Our people treat us worse than the white people and the judges that put us here. Because our people will say, oh, they criminals, they this, that, and the other, and they did this. And man, there's a whole bunch of people locked up that didn't even do nothing. It's a fact. This ain't an opinion of mine. I done read people paperwork, and they done identify other people. The steps is we can must show love first. The highest principles known to man, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. We got to show our people love first, and then we move to see what we go do. Because the only way that you go do something is you love your people concern from these people that's locked up. If you have no concern for these people, we ain't never gonna be able to stand up and stick our chest out and take a proper step towards performing in the right manner, because don't nobody be concerned about their own people. They concerned about what's going on the internet and other people that they probably don't even know. We gotta love first, and then to either check on your people, like we just said, check on your people, and either you will see what's going on, and then we can make some proper steps to see what we gotta do to prevent this.
Wow, that's deep. So love. I love you.
I love you too.
I know we live, y'all, on the podcast, but I just had to share that. And I don't know if you all know, you probably seen me posted maybe on Instagram. Like I just recently posted long or early morning trips to see my hubby. So getting on I-57 at 4:00 in the morning to go down to Pinckneyville Correctional Facility. So I had an experience, with staying at the hotel that was across the street from the prison that actually had bed bugs. So I know if the bed bugs were in the hotel, I'm pretty sure they were in the prison too. And so I literally had to sleep. I slept in the bathtub. Because like in those towns, it was late, it was dark. It was actually on Thanksgiving. And so there was nothing open. And so I was by myself. I was definitely alone. And so me getting in my car to drive to another hotel that was in the vicinity, like wasn't safe for me as a Black woman, as a woman first, and then as a Black woman. And so I decided that I was going to stay so I could have my visit the next morning. And I slept in the tub. Like I slept in the tub. So that's, my show and my action of, love it's action. It's not just about saying that you love people or words.
Know what she told me? Everybody that's listening, when she came to visit me the next day, she said, I'm not going to leave you down here. So I'm going to come and visit you for these 3 days, no matter if it's bed bugs or not. That's what we mean. Check on y'all people. Show unconditional love. Love has no conditions. It is definitely an action word. You can't tell your people you love them. You got to check on them.
Mm-hmm. So if you have, I see it, we have a couple people watching, listening.
1 minute remaining.
Okay, yeah, that actually just might, I'm feeling complete about this conversation right now. We've been on for 18 minutes. I'm feeling complete about it. That's it. Check on y'all people. Stop leaving them to die, to rot in prison.
Just to be wrongfully convicted in prison. Check on y'all people. Read y'all people case, man.
Y'all heard him. He said, read the cases, visit them, accept them phone calls, send the money.
Y'all read what Beyonce and Cardi B them popping their ass. Read about y'all people being down in these motherfucking prisons. That's what y'all be doing. Y'all worried about what's going on the internet. Worried about what's going on with the motherfucker that grew up in the house with you. That ain't never did nothing to you. Check on y'all people.
You heard it from the man himself. All right. Y'all have a great Sunday and be encouraged.
Thank you for using Global Tel Link.